Good evening.
Good evening. My name's Levi Lawrence. I own a grocery food distribution company in New Brunswick and a grocery store here in Fredericton called Real Food Connections. And my food producers that become my suppliers is about 147 in southern New Brunswick alone. Just for a point of reference, I'll read the rest so I stay on time. Buying local is not a feel-good, it is a feel-good concept, and I don't need to convince you that there is solid, tangible economic benefits to keeping our dollars within the province. If we had more time, I could show you studies that show by converting only $10 of each household spending on current imported foods to New Brunswick grown foods, we will see over $30 million of increased revenues within the province. A local food act, policy, marketing campaign, call it what you will, what's feasible, on behalf of our government could do much of what I have mentioned with limited investment, but I want to challenge the government to consider more concrete and effective ways in which it can positively affect our local food industry. Showcasing our producers, processors, retailers, and restaurants, supporting them in unique and inventive ways, will not only increase their revenues and therefore the taxes collected, but will better our provincial image, further develop the fantastic offerings we have for tourists, and also create sustainable employment opportunities for New Brunswickers paid by New Brunswickers. Imagine if all organizations, events, and institutions funded, owned, or affiliated with the government of New Brunswick going forward had to source some of their food needs locally, or to show proof of effort in that direction, like an individual currently on unemployment showing proof of job search. Almost all food supply for catered events, meetings, office cafeterias, institutional menu plans are arranged by larger, often international food management companies who have no incentive to offer New Brunswick grown foods. Often the food is not more expensive, but I admit the logistics are much more complicated. On the next contract renewal with such a company, and with each purchasing decision made by government, let us have a clause, a mandate, a legislation that at least forces consideration, research, and effort before making the assumption that such purchases would be uneconomical, prohibitively priced, or unavailable. Schools, hospitals, prisons, crown corporations, conferences, and simple meetings all deal directly or indirectly with food purchasing, and keeping even a percentage of these expenditures in New Brunswick, we will see a direct increase in personal and corporate tax collection. Let me finish with just an example. For at least 11 months, and if not 12 months of the year, any amount of crisp, delicious New Brunswick grown apples can be sourced by a number of suppliers quickly and at a price competitive in this market with any conventional food supply. Think of every office break, meeting room, cafeteria, and canteen that has been influenced by government mandate or funding, and the amount of apples they buy from outside of New Brunswick because they have outsourced the food decisions to management companies with no contractual commitment or incentive to at least attempt to purchase from one of our many local suppliers. I am not saying that we should not be thrift in our purchasing, lean in our costing, and business-oriented in our mindset. Let this concept serve as a letter of intent from the government of New Brunswick, if we make such a mandate, to the thousands of food-involved entrepreneurs that if they will at least be considered, for all of these purchasing dollars that in part come from their own tax dollars. Thank you for your time.
Levi, what was the name of your company again?
Real Food Connections.
Real Food Connections. Have you had any discussions with Agriculture Department, Ms. Jones-Camp? and